Did y'all see this episode? This shit was crazy. We got motherfucking G.O.H still summoning sharks on niggas. We got Maury putting in work. We got Davey putting in work. We got Fire Fox niggas coming out of the motherfucking gate and shit. I mean, goddamn, we got swords summonings of Jesus still happening like it's their motherfucking day job. Like, goddamn, this episode was motherfucking crazy, man. Fuck is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Black Yoshi here today to bring you another fucking installment of my anime breakdown episode. And this week, we getting back into some of that G.O.H High School episode 10. Woo! But before we get into some of that, make sure you follow us on our social medias, which is Red Cloud Village on YouTube and Red Cloud Village on Instagram. And you can follow your boy on Facebook at Son of Mike, and you can follow your boy on motherfucking Instagram with Black Yoshi 92. Let's get it. Man, first off, man, we get more with my motherfucking boy Ilpio. You know what I'm saying? We found out pretty much like why this motherfucker had that grudge against G.O.H and shit. And why he was whooping his ass in that flashback. Come to find out, this motherfucker had another teammate. And she got her ass whooped by G.O.H. You know what I'm saying? That bitch was out there holding her motherfucking knee like she was Peter, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that bitch was on the ground all fucked up. And my boy G.O.H walked up on her and was just like, bitch, you know what I'm saying? Just stepped on that bitch. You know what I'm saying? While boy Ilpio and Son God was on the sideline watching. And need I mind you, this was 4 years ago. So that's why, you know what I'm saying, they got history and shit. And I'm like, damn, bro. He did that to her like that. God damn. He said, bitch, man, fuck your legs. And that's what he did, man. He fucked that bitch's legs up to the point where this bitch can't even do martial arts no more. You know what I'm saying? She'll walk again. But that bitch, she pretty much Bran Stark for the time being, bro. She's Bran Starking it right now, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn. But then that's what makes him want to go whoop G.O.H's ass, and he was just whooping his ass and shit. Motherfuckers come to break it up. And that's just, that ends that. That was the history between them. And I'm like, what? Crazy, man. Crazy. Now we see why Ilpio don't like this motherfucker, man. He fucked her shit up, bitch. Damn, bro. And then we go back into the present time. And this is about to be before the match of the semifinals, which is between Ilpio's team and Jin Mori's team. And let me tell you something. That man Ilpio's out there with Son God, and he breaking it down like, look, man, I know why I gotta win this shit like that. But she's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Your boy is Jin Mori, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You have a quote-unquote promise to fulfill in a sense. Well, we don't know what that is yet. But she was just saying that, like, you know, don't let your relationship with Jin Mori affect you having to win this fight. And he's like, nah, man, my head's in it. I'm ready to do this. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then, like, before the match and shit, we find out more about what's going on with Mori and them after the outcome of last match fighting against them Jeju motherfucking Agent Smith doppelganger niggas. Come to find out that Mujin tells them, like, yo, y'all good. Y'all going to the semifinals. These motherfucking Jeju niggas, they tried to fuck shit up. It really wasn't y'all fault. Y'all did y'all part. Showed up to the match. It is what it is. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Keep that shit going, man. We gotta win this shit. But at the same fucking time, it's like, damn no. Like, what the fuck? And then fucking Mujin tells them about Nox. You know what I'm saying? Since they pretty much dealt with them in the last episode, as far as Mori going to that warehouse, finding the trap bars, his grandfather and shit. And he's like, look, man, these are some Nox motherfuckers. And these Nox motherfuckers, essentially, they, you know what I'm saying, they do their things. Like, he tells them that they don't care about people who believe in other gods or have power of other gods that isn't theirs. So, essentially, Mira chimes in and she's like, yo, okay, so these motherfuckers they hate Charyuk users, and that... you smart. Pretty much what Mujin tells her, like, yeah, like, they believe in a certain god and they only they want to take out other Charyuk users who have power of gods or other gods in general. And that explains why they're after Taejin. And Mori even mentions that. He says, so that's why they're after my grandfather. He has some immense power that they want. And I'm like, let's do it, bro. And then he's like, yo, fuck it. If y'all want more information about the Nox shit, Mujin tells them, go win a G.O.H High School tournament. And I'm like, let's do it. And Mori's like, fuck yeah, man, let's go. And he's like, yo, head to the battle. And then when we get to the battle and shit, I mean, like, the first match is between Daewoo and Son God. And Ilpio tells her that, yo, if you get the first strike, you can win this match and shit like that. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? He giving her some hype. And then Daewoo tells Mira, like, this bandage I have on my face, it's for like some secret training. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? So that pretty much happens with that. And then the match starts, and they motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? That bitch Sun Ga, yo, her technique is sound. You know what I'm saying? Just the way she was moving, like she wasn't doing nothing too crazy. I just like how she just moved, like how, you know, she was very sound in her technique, you know, being a martial artist. And I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Plus she built like Goku, you know what I'm saying? So she was going in a little bit. But Daewoo, you know what I'm saying? He hit her with the reversal and shit, pulls up on her. But she uses like this little palm move or some shit like that eventually comes back to bite Daewoo in the ass when he tries to charge at her again, and essentially he loses his balance. He's like, oh shit, what the fuck? And I'm like, damn, Daewoo, you gotta get the fuck up. And El Pio pretty much chimes in on the whole exposition of the whole why his equilibrium's off. And he's saying that her first strike that hit him, but technically didn't hit him. It was meant to do that, and essentially, like, it was meant to throw his equilibrium off, and that was the point. And next thing you know, you see Sun God, you know what I'm saying, when you think like she about to take advantage of the fight, because my boy Daewoo down, this bitch, she does a high rise kick. I mean, this bitch foot goes up to the fucking heavens. I mean, that shit looked like it came out of frame. I'm like, damn, she about to bring down a fucking hammer on Daewoo. I'm like, Daewoo, you gonna need all the Tylenol and fucking aspirin. You gonna need it all, bro. Cause it might, this is why I get about to hurt. And she brings that shit down and it creates a fucking crater. But we don't really know if the shit really fucks Daewoo up or not. It's like, oh shit, come to find out, it doesn't. He blocks it. You know what I'm saying? It's just that the impact of the kick was able to create a shockwave to do damage to the arena. Because you thought Daewoo was like fucked up, like damn. But now he blocked it and he ended up pushing her the fuck back. Bitch, get the fuck back. Ends up blowing her the fuck back. And then boy El Pio's like, look, you might want to give it up right now, Sun God. You got the Gatorade symbol right now. You know what I'm saying? You tired as fuck. You might not want to do this. But she's like, nah, fuck that. I got my own reason to fight. You know what I'm saying? Shit ain't gonna hold me back. And she goes the fuck in again with your boy Daewoo. And then, you know what I'm saying? She comes in with that goddamn dynamic entry kick looking like she might guy out this bitch. You know what I'm saying? And that boy Daewoo just comes in with that fist. You know what I'm saying? And that foot meets that fist. And like, bitch, motherfucker. Blow that bitch the fuck back. Down for the count. Boy, Daewoo get the dub. Let's get it. Yo, I'm like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Keep getting them dubs out there. And Daewoo walking to the sideline, and he looking at Mira and Jin Mori, you know what I'm saying? Because Mori, he being all focused and shit. But he tells Mori, like, look, bro, it's not just you who needs to win this. We need to win this. You know what I'm saying? All three of us. And that kind of gets Mori out of like this slump he's been in since the last few episodes, as far as in the regards of his grandfather. And he's like, yeah, you right. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this. Let's go get this dub. And I'm like, let's go, man. Keep them positive vibes coming. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this. And before the next match starts, which is between Mori and El Pio, we see El Pio on the sideline, and he's looking at Sun God. And Sun God, she for the moment, she's all, you know what I'm saying? She getting all treated and shit like that. And before the match, he gets pulled up on by Sung Young, excuse me, and that was actually her name, the girl from the past that got injured by G.O.H. Her name was Sung Young. And she comes up and she's like, look, you don't need to try to win this for me, because El Pio's whole goal was to win a guy to high school to try to fix her legs, similarly to Daewoo and his boy who was sick and dying and shit. And she tells him like, look, you don't have to fight for me. Fight for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you said you had a promise to fulfill, remember? So it's like, oh shit. And he kind of realizes in that moment, like, okay, I guess I don't need to keep using this as a burden to fight and have his own reason to fight, because he quote unquote still has this promise. So I'm guessing he no longer, you know, vows to obviously win the tournament for her, but he still continues to go fight. You know what I'm saying? So he goes on to the match, and it's between Mori and my mom, you know what I'm saying, and El Pio, and them niggas are scrapping, you know what I'm saying? Them niggas is going at it, and I like the animation. It was fluid and everything. It wasn't you ain't really see no crazy theatrics or, you know what I'm saying, effects. It was just, you know what I'm saying, like hands, straight hands, you know what I'm saying, and some feet, you know what I'm saying? And it was just nice, and I really, really liked it. And then, you know what I'm saying, that pops off. But then there's other shit going on the sideline as the tournament's going on. And we see P. Okay, she was kind of using the Jeju member. She was doing like some puppet shit with her Charyuk in the beginning when it came to the Jeju clone motherfuckers and shit like that. And she ends up getting pulled up on by the motherfucking nigga who be summoning them swords of Jesus. He came in there and waxed her, bro. And then Mugen pulls up. Like, she wasn't dead. She was on the ground bleeding out. But then Mugen pulls up. And then my boy Mugen's like, yo, what's up? And come to find out, this dude's name is Song Mandok or Mandok, something like that. Well, I just call him Mandok, as far as like once I realized what his name was. But yeah, this dude Mandoc is the one who's been fucking summoning these goddamn swords of Jesus and shit since we saw him with that encounter with Gentasian. And I'm like, yo, this dude's a problem. Like, how you gonna handle this dude, Mugen? And Mugen mentions that he seems like he's gotten stronger since the last time I guess they faced. So boom, we find right there and there, they got history. And as they're talking, we see the commissioners, you know what I'm saying? My boy, you know what I'm saying, Grim Reaper Gambit, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Dragon Lord up in there holding it down and with the other commissioners. And then they're surrounded by a bunch of Nox motherfuckers. And you're like, okay, we got some shit about to go down, okay? We got 2 motherfucking locations where it seems like niggas about to start throwing hands. Actually 3, because we got the tournament. I'm like, god damn, don't do it to me like this got a high school. Too much on fire. But anyway, man, I'm like, let's get it. So before the niggas shit start popping off, the dude Mandoc pretty much tells like Muja like, yo, hold this. And next thing you know, we see the location where fucking the other commissioners and the Nox members are. And next thing we see it again, that damn symbol and shit. Fucking, sort of Jesus coming down on that ass once again. And I'm like, oh, fuck, man. This dude, like I said, man, summoning swords of Jesus. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just an everyday, you know what I'm saying, hobby. It's just nothing to this dude. And then we cut away from that and we'll go back to the tournament and shit like that. And shit's still going down between Mori and Ilpio. And as they're fighting, Ilpio is kind of getting the better of Mori. He's like, yo, I know your weaknesses. Your first weakness is... he said his first weakness is that he's not good in close combat. He said his second weakness is that I forgot what did he say second weakness was. I kept forgetting his second weakness. I know his third weakness was that he mentioned that his moves were predictable. And no, I believe that was his second move. No, that was his second weakness. He said his moves were too predictable. And his third weakness was that he had strain on his body after he would use his attacks, like his dragon kicks and shit like that. So I'm like, oh damn, he's exposing you, Mori, man. He's exposing you, you know what I'm saying? But it's mentioned as they're fighting though, it kind of seems like him putting out these weaknesses is like a training mechanism for Mori. Like he's trying to whoop his ass but teach him, like, see if he can adapt. And that's what my boy Mori does, you know what I'm saying? My boy Mori adapts like a beast, you know what I'm saying? Because they about to go in on each other after, like I said, Ilpio's getting the best of him, but then Mori's like, fuck that. So they going in at each other, and the next thing Mori hits him with that, you know what I'm saying? He hit him with that motherfucking mirror, moonlight source out, swordless technique. I'm like, hold up, my man got other niggas shit in his back pocket now. Let's go. And then when he does that, he says, yo, close combat weakness conquered. I'm saying, whoo. He said, yeah, bitch, I learned on the fly. Because, yo, Ilpio was talking big shit too. Like, he was telling him before he did that shit, like, yo, is this what Tajian left behind? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shitting on him. Because we know that Ilpio and Tajian have history when they met in the past when he gave him his grandfather's book. And in that moment as well, he actually met Mori as like a baby, which was kind of cool. But yeah, he just mentioned, like, yeah, yo, your grandfather pretty much like, he left like a scrub. I'm like, come on, Mori. But like I said, my Mori had to hit him with that little cutting move, you know what I'm saying? Fuck this ass up. And then we transferred back over to motherfucking Mugen and the motherfucking Mondoc dude. And like, the sword that he brought down, my boy fucking Mugen had to hit him with that goddamn god palm to block that shit. And the crazy thing about this battle was these motherfuckers wasn't even in the same location. They was in 2 different locations having a goddamn dimensional battle and shit. Shit was fucking crazy, bro. And as their motherfuckers is like, you know, having this duel, this Mondoc dude says like, yo, creation of like heaven and earth. And next thing you know, like some Nox dudes where the commissioners were, like I said, dual location status, these niggas start doing like some ritual, then a goddamn eyeball pop out the ground, then the eyeball creates like some gate, and then like some fucking shadow being comes through the fucking gate to grab the damn god sword. And I'm like, yo, what the hell? That shit was like some Yu-Gi-Oh shit. That all that bounce off, that was like some Yu-Gi-Oh shit. He pretty much said like, yo, I got like the card of like fucking heaven and earth, which summons the Eye of Oblivion, which summons the Gate of Destiny, which summons the Great Lord. Like, what the fuck? Like, yo, shit was crazy. Shit was crazy, man. And I'm like, what the fuck? But the crazy thing about it is this ain't even the half of it, because when this shit's going on, we see one of the 6 members, I believe his name was Seo Hall Young, and this dude, he got a whole band behind him, he got a whole entourage behind him. This motherfucker's like, he taking shots at Henny, and like, once the battle starts going on between Muj and this dude, you can see nothing but swords and all types of crazy shit. This motherfucker creates like this warped spatial gate, starts firing all types of weapons, because this man had a whole cavalry, a whole arsenal of weapons, whole slew of weapons, and he's like throwing them through there, shooting like guns and shit. And as they're going through like this portal, they're creating like energy to shoot at the big ass like sword of Jesus and shit, because you know what I'm saying, he's one of the six, that's Muj's boy, so he's there to help. But I'm just like, what the fuck? And as he's fighting and shit, like I said, he got a band behind him, they playing drums, hyping him up. I'm like, this dude don't, he his own promo. You know what I'm saying? His own producer. Like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. That dude was insane. That dude was insane. And then as that's going on, we see down below, and the commissioners and shit, they're getting nice. They're fucking these Nazi members up. We see my boy Joker, and I'm not screwing that Joker. We see my boy Green, what I like to call him, what's my Grim Reaper Gambit. We see my boy, Grim Reaper Gambit going in. We see my boy Dragon Lord O going in. They just, you know what I'm saying, back to back. He got the sight, he got the little fire shit, and they just going in. And then we see the other commissioners, they putting in some work. We don't really see too many powers of theirs per se, but they putting in some work. And I'm like, shit's just going down, you know what I'm saying? Shit is just going down. You know what I'm saying? And then we go back to the fight, and my boy Maury's putting in work on motherfucking LPO and shit, you know what I'm saying? He hits him with the black tortoise moves, tells him like, yeah, nigga, how my moves predictable now, because you ain't see I hit you with that black tortoise shit. And then at the end, he was like, yo, for it to strain his body, like when it comes to straining his body and shit, he was like, yo, he pulled out some new shit called the fucking, the Blue Dragon Tempest? I'm like, and it was what, original 3? And I'm like, what the fuck, what is this? And then, LPO was like, bro, I'ma just have to hit you with that motherfucking Hellblade shit, Hellfire Blade shit, and that shit collides, but as, like, their attacks are colliding and shit, we're seeing, like, the fight between Muj and, like, all this shit happening, and the motherfucking 6-member dude, this dude straight the fuck up, like, puts on a fucking mask, like this red mask, and then like his face like goes to like the portal thing, it becomes huge, and then like the face of the the mask he has on turns into some damn sharp ass teeth, and then he bites the sword, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck did this do? Like, what? Well, in all of God of High School so far, that's one dude's ability where I'm like, okay, I don't know whose power you're about borrowing from, because that shit is just all over the place. But anyway, once that's happening, and as he's like biting down on the sword, and as Mori and LPO's attacks are clashing, it's like boom, you know what I'm saying? Like once the sword breaks, you know what I'm saying? It ends up breaking, and then LPO and Jim Mori, once their clashes collide, you know what I'm saying? LPO gets blown the fuck back, and it was like some simultaneous shit, like, you know, Mujin won in that instance, Jim Mori won in that instance, and then, you know, everything seems like it's on an up and up, you know what I'm saying, for both sides, because LPO, as he's falling back, he's actually having a recollection of when he met Taejin again, and this time Mori was actually awake. Like I said, they met as a kid, because the first time we saw him, Mori was asleep, but then but this time in this flashback, he was awake, and Taejin tells LPO, he's like, look, this is my grandson Mori, you know what I'm saying, in a few years, if you ever come across him and shit, teach him a few things. And I'm assuming that was the promise that LPO was saying, which is why he was so intrigued and so happy to meet Mori for the first time, and wanted to actually, you know, fight him for the first time when they actually met, because maybe he kept that promise to Taejin, like for Taejin giving him his grandfather's book of his fighting style. He's like, all right, well, I'll do you a solid, and I'll make sure Mori, you know what I'm saying, can hold his own. Because remember, when they were fighting, that somebody mentioned that it seemed like he was training him for pointing out his weaknesses. So I was like, oh, okay, so that all comes full circle. I likes that. But anyway, like once he comes out of that flashback, you know, he falls on the ground because the match is over, and it seems like both sides are, you know, relieved of the circumstances. Like Mujin kind of has a smirk on his face and shit, and Mori's like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, the victor. And next thing you know, we see LPO, and LPO is he's just like laying on the ground and shit, you know, because he lost the match, but he's saying to himself, like, I can't lose either. And I'm like, what you mean you can't lose either, nigga? You just lost. What are you talking about? What do you mean? And the next thing you know, we see him like in this mental trance shit, like Mira, but he wasn't in like this free floating water. He was in a sense in this in like this white garden, white field with like some red cherry blossoms, and then like this fox spirit thing walks up to this dude, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? This shit look like a Hackstad's Pokemon. Excuse me. And like I'm like, yo, what is this? Next thing you know, like it's like it looks at Il Pio, and then we go back to like real time, and Il Pio is like, his body just lifts up like this motherfucker's a goddamn exorcist and shit. And then he goes through like this fire gate shit. And this man walks the fuck out looking like a straight beast. Straight motherfucking beast, man. Straight fox style fire, nigga. Yo, I don't even know what this dude was, bro. He just looked like a fucking monster, yo. I'm like, yo, and more, you gotta fight that still, possibly? Because he said he can't lose, and if he powering up like that, the match was never over, nigga. So I don't know what the hell Mori gonna do next episode. Maybe Mori's gonna unlock his Charyuk for the first time. Who knows? But god damn, that shit was crazy. And what tops that off is that when he turns into this fox dude, you got the Mandoc dude and Mugen back where they are, and he's smiling and shit, and he was telling them, because we found out that the G.O.H High School tournament was only created for Mugen to find this key that they've been speaking about the last few episodes. And Mandoc says, if you wanted the key, you need a bigger source of power to find it. Come to find out, the key is apparently Il Pio once he becomes this fox motherfucker. I'm like, what? Because I thought it was motherfucking Mori. And maybe Mori might be, you know, he's the main character, so we're going to know his relevance of how important he is sooner or later. But damn, I'm like, Il Pio's the key? I didn't see that coming. Because even G.O.H even mentioned in this episode, you know what I'm saying? Because G.O.H had pulled up on the bitch-ass Paylong dude, and he ate that motherfucker like a goddamn shrimp dinner, because he was like, motherfucker, I was never joining Nox, I just needed information. And then as he's walking away, he mentioned something about wanting the key. So I'm like, damn, so Il Pio's this key? I can't wait until they explain more into that. Is he the key? Is he the only? Is there more keys? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, man. This episode was just too hype, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I started off this, you know what I'm saying, video like, what? You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, man. This shit was just crazy, man. Another fucking crazy episode of G.O.H High School. But let me just throw out a little bit of disclaimers. I have a fellow shinobi of the Red Cloud Village, my boy Hank is dope, and he's actually mentioning that he's a manga reader, so he reads the original content, and he has mentioned that they are taking some liberties with some things in this series. So as an anime only, I'm still hyped, but I will once the first season is over, I will be delving into the manga content as well, and I'm hoping to bring some videos of that, of my first impression, and maybe some comparisons, or maybe just when I get to a certain point of just reading it off camera, I could just come out with a beastly ass video for y'all. But either way, man, at the end of the day, I'm still feeling the anime. I understand that they taking some liberties, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I feel my boy Hank is dope, you know what I'm saying? Because he reads the content of G.O.H High School, and we're both big Tower of God fans, and the anime is what got us into it. But now seeing how Crunchyroll is taking some liberties, I'm damn sure going to be one of them niggas on season 2 of Tower of God, like, but y'all niggas fucking up. But anyway, man, at the end of the day, this is your boy Black Yoshi, man, signing the fuck off, you know what I'm saying? Here today, once again, like I said, here to bring you another fucking episode of that anime breakdown shit. But yeah, man, just come next week for episode 11. I believe we have 2 more episodes left, man. But hey, man, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Make sure to follow us on Red Cloud Village on YouTube, Red Cloud Village on Instagram. Make sure to follow me, Son of Mike on Facebook, and Black Yoshi 92 on motherfucking Instagram. Peace, niggas.